So, an hour has gone by. Lucky Fish and Tyler, you guys have returned to the crime scene.
Okay. I will say, I would prepare yourselves for any nastiness you might encounter, and then enter the house.
Yep. You see him just kind of
traumatize them early.
Steal himself.
We can't go out the gate. But take a look at these corpses, man.
You gotta see both of them kind of steal themselves. They walk in, and immediately they kind of see the mural, and you just see them just both kind of just blink twice, but then further steal themselves as they start looking around. Where's the body?
Points at the mural there.
It's there. And there.
Well, remember the body is
there.
around in the back room.
Should be around the corner.
They walk around, they see it, and you see like a shiver kind of just run down his spine.
What about the girl? That's what I'm paying attention.
Seems emotionless. But she kind of just looks at it. You see her kind of look it over. And then just kind of start looking around the room, just seeing how stuff is configured, where stuff is. They're tepidly starting to look around and investigate, but don't feel comfortable moving his possessions or interacting with objects. So it's a strictly visual search.
Yeah, while they're doing this, I'll be telling him, yes, whoever is here didn't steal anything. Was very careful not to leave much evidence. They screwed up a little with the table, though.
I say he looks around.
I'm looking at the girl. If she reacts when I say that the killer screwed up at the table.
She immediately looks over at the table. The table appears to still be here. He looks over as well, and you see him kind of take his hand down. The dust pattern.
Yep.
And she kind of looks at that, and you see like an understanding go into her eyes.
Yes.
But you say there's nothing stolen, but I don't see anything of value. I know he buys goods at the market. He couldn't have been broke.
Well, no one mentioned that he bought stuff at the market.
I
have you been here before?
Before, no, but he runs errands. I mean, I know my parents tried to give him money for the work he did for us. I assume he got paid.
I mentioned to you earlier that all the valuables were taken out by the guards who found him.
Yeah, you guys are aware of that. Just so you know.
Alright. Well, anything of too much value probably was confiscated by the guard, just to be sure, just to give to next to kin and stuff like that. But no, while the way he was killed is definitely gruesome, the mural definitely threw us through the loop. Kind of be looking at that. Odd that it's so low to the ground. Again,
yeah.
Always focusing on what the girl's reaction was.
She looks at it and just kind of doesn't seem to get why that's odd.
Yes.
He even looks at it and is kind of like, they wanted the mountain to appear to come out of the ground. He doesn't seem to get it either. What's so odd?
Well, my friends, if the killer was an adult, they would have to be bending down constantly in order to create this mural, which can be a very uncomfortable position if you're constantly having to do it. It would be probably around chest height, which I show would be kind of up here around the right height.
They kind of both mention that, well, she kind of looks at him and he kind of nods and mentions, I think creating this mural itself should have been uncomfortable. If bending is concerned.
Oh, normally, yes. But you see, killers are mostly emotionless. Fairly benign. When they do something like this, it's either through vengeance, although I highly doubt it in this case, or a particular quirk of their personality. they don't react and behave normally compared to others. I'm looking at her.
Give me an insight. I haven't made you roll insight on any of these, so I'll just be giving you surface.
I haven't
So I'll
watched
give you
it,
deeper.
but just
Yep.
I'm letting him do the talking and such. He's better charisma, but I'm watching.
Ooh, yeah, baby. Which one was it? Am I rolling for?
You're rolling insight.
Oh, I got an 8.
21.
21. She doesn't appear to be phased, but does appear to be mentally processing. Okay, it must be someone short. Okay, basically she's analyzing the evidence as you give it to her, and attempting to put pieces together. You see mental gears working through her head. But she
do I find that odd that she's like not getting it?
Not really, as only one of you was able to figure the mural out. I mean, because the four of you kind of looked at the mural, and she's the only one who really noticed it, and it was the strokes and the art style, not the art location, that indicated small.
And the mural itself, you said before, was very well done, or it was
yes. If it weren't for the stuff it was made of, being the guts and bloods of the deceased, it would be considered a masterpiece in quality.
Okay.
The proportions are right. It adequately describes him.
Yes, we suspect the murderer was fairly short, probably a dwarf, a halfling, a kobold, a few of them, or maybe a child, but I highly doubt it. I say, giving a kind of laugh.
Yep.
Insight on her.
Insight on her, go for it.
And the kid incites you. It's like, wait, you're suspicious of me?
Insight. 16.
She immediately just kind of cocks her head as if that's something she hadn't considered.
Okay.
He just kind of laughs with you. A kid, as the children say.
Okay, lol, as the children. I have to go to the bathroom real quick, but you guys can go to them.
So,
when we saw the heads, by the
you
way,
are sitting there.
Notice the races of any of them besides the one elf?
Various humanoid races, humans. It's hard to tell the race of some of them by heads, as they are, while relatively well preserved, appear to have been doctored medically.
Okay, so whoever did this is multi-talented with art, butchery, and medical.
You could say that they were a jack of all trades.
Goddamn bards murdering everyone!
While I'm waiting, I'll probably kind of do a spiral out.
Yep.
And just check out the area for anything else.
Yep. Go ahead and give me a perception.
Okay.
Or survival choice.
They're the same. It'd be a 19.
19?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of.
So with both, you're able to kind of. There's definitely a smell about the area, not one that readily you recognize. This is in addition to the rotting flesh smell. That one you know.
Okay.
You don't really find any tracks, but you do find evidence that there's been more than one creature here present at a time.
Oh, okay.
What is notable is that creatures don't appear to have fed upon the heads.
Do you mean like beasts?
Correct.
Okay. Do I get the sense or the smell, I guess, that the heads have been treated with something?
Treated
like chemical type
no.
or anything like that to preserve them or to anything like that?
What you would get upon investigating them, you would have to start moving and interacting with the pile.
Okay.
Are you doing that?
I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I'm not
Because
gonna do that.
we're about to go through how a dog digs through a pile
Yeah,
of
I'm
heads.
just like I'll wait because I'll probably by the time they get back.
Yeah.
After I wasn't sprinting back, we weren't sprinting here. So by the time we got down here and then waiting on them to go and come back, like my time's probably up.
Okay.
Inspiration, by the way.
Okay.
So, you guys arrive to see the druid outside of his druidic form. Back blocks it on.
But still sitting on the ground.
Yeah. I say you just see his trunk doing a whole little nope.
Oh yeah, I probably should have warned him about that.
As he smells the a rot of the heads. But very quickly gets over to where you guys are and looks at them. He starts going through, vagrant on the streets, never settled into a home, and goes through the other 4, and they were all in some way, shape, or form people who were just about at night, and people really hadn't missed. Just assumed, oh, they've probably gone somewhere else, or maybe they picked up one of the homes that's vacant.
Okay, so the killer's been going after people who aren't really noticeable.
Yeah.
Like me in real life.
So kind of looking at it and going like, oh, we hadn't seen that guy begging. Now we know why. You would expect they'd be gone. The latest of them wouldn't even have been gone a week. But the guard came immediately. What have you investigated in the area?
I went to go grab you as soon as we found this.
Understood.
I'll let them know about how animals seem to have come up and checked it out, but not messed with it.
You see him just kind of look around and he gets a long stick.
Can I tell just from...
Well, actually, he would have his spear with him. We'd use that. Looking around.
I had a question I was going to ask several minutes ago, and I've forgotten.
Okay.
I started to ask it, and I'm like, wait, I don't remember now. Never mind.
Gotcha. So
I was going to use nature for something.
Oh!
I remember that part. Can I make a nature roll?
You said they were like
You can always make a roll, and I will give you what info that roll will provide.
Hey! That's a 22 for nature for something regarding the heads.
So they had been doctored medically.
And what do you mean
In
by
other
that?
words, they've had all hair removed. Ears removed, noses removed. As you start kind of moving around, you see that as he starts moving them with the spear, you can see that the necks itself, where they were severed, appear to all be clean cut rather than like hacked with an axe. As he starts rolling them over, you see that they're all laying in different positions. But whatever would be most facing the ground, parts of the skull have been removed and cut, and the brains have been extracted.
I was going to ask if I could roll religion to see if this is like killings in a religious cultist like Matt.
If it's a cult, you've not heard of it. This doesn't match anything from the world you're from.
Okay.
Nor does it have any symbolism.
Okay.
For anything resembling religion.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do a quick search around the area and see if I can learn any.
Go for it.
That is a 23 in perception.
You learn nothing new than what's already been given.
Okay.
Creatures have been in the area. They haven't touched the heads.
No possible murder weapons or no new tracks.
No.
Would I know of any particular reason that the animals wouldn't have messed with it?
With the nature, I will give you...
I think that's what I was going to do with that.
Okay. There is a bit of almost an unnatural air about you. And animals typically do not mess with things that seem unnatural, as typically that means danger. Especially when a large group of people have moved in and there's hunters in the area.
Yeah. I will try to, yeah.
Oh, look, it stayed as a nat 1.
Yeah. I have specially weighted dice. They always stay on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see, I don't know if I can kind of do this before they got back, but I'll see if I can do a ritual casting of detect magic and see if I get anything in the area.
When you detect magic, you get the faintest traces of enchantment, not on anything specifically, merely that enchantment was used here at some point in time.
Just in kind of around,
like,
or connected with the ground, or
in the way that when you spill wine or some other strong-smelling beverage. I know we cleaned this. I know we soaked it twice. I know we used vinegar. But I still smell it. That kind of, so there's an aura of it's still around.
Okay.
In order for an aura to appear, it means it must have at least been a 3rd level spell.
Okay.
If it was more powerful,
Okay.
if it were more powerful, it could have been further back. If it were, it's like if it was a 9th level enchantment spell, you could still get a faint whiff if you were there years after it's been cast.
Alright, so we know that it's whoever's
A 2nd level spell you could get, but it'd be the same day.
Right, so we know that whoever's been doing this is potentially a very high magic user.
They can cast at least 2nd level spells, likely as high as 3rd level if it was cast beyond a day ago.
Which is more than we can do.
That's at least level 3 or 4.
3rd level is like 5. Like it's, from, especially like this world, it's beyond what the average person can do that has not been unlocked.
Correct.
Is that correct to say?
Yes.
So this is
3rd level would be the peak of someone's understanding.
Yeah. So this is probably someone that has been unlocked.
How long has the gnome been in town with us?
2 days?
Okay, never mind then. Because I was kind of suspicious of him, but you also said that some of these have been here for like about a week.
They've been here for up to a week, yes.
Heads have, but the enchantment been here. So an enchantment-based spell has been cast. That doesn't rule him out from being the one that have cast it. Doesn't necessarily mean that he was the murderer directly, but
yeah. Could there also be someone living out in the wilds around here?
Seems a little likely, but it's possible. As a spellcaster, would I know of any enchantment spells that would make sense to have been cast here? Me as a player, I
Not
can't.
that you could think of.
I don't think druids even have very much need of wisdom enchantment.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar. As a player, I'm not familiar with them that much.
Not likely.
Okay. Well,
Question is, should we really disturb this? Because if we do, and the killer comes back during some time, he might know that we found this and would be onto him.
It has been disturbed.
Oh,
yeah.
Because you guys were investigating the heads.
Okay.
The Lexodon is kind of poking, moving things up and whatnot.
Yep.
Could I try to grab a stick and try to put it into place as it was?
Yep. With disadvantage, roll me a dexterity check.
Can I help since I was
That one.
sitting
Double
around?
that once.
Holy crap.
So he immediately starts to move something,
No, it's
and it's
Crushed.
too late. It gets stuck because he's kind of pressing it into the ground a little bit too hard as he's trying to slowly move it. The stick snaps, and as his foot kind of moves, he kicks the stick, and one of the heads goes flying.
No! Oh no.
The Loxodon's just looking at you. You can just see a grin across his face as he's just trunk still tied in a knot. Just
I'm just gonna back up a few feet. It's just like I'm just gonna stop touching things.
Let's add this to the one list. These are our nat one. Well, mostly mine.
so.
Our combined nat ones.
My goal is to eventually be able to have all of my dice all nicely
In one
lined up.
session.
Yeah.
You can touch one more thing. You can go get that thing. If you want it put back, I'm not fetching the head you tossed across the grassland.
Would my clothes come with a pair of gloves or my winter clothes?
Winter clothes would have gloves, yes.
I'll put those on and go retrieve
Okay.
it and try to put it
You
back.
have thick, bare fur mittens that you just find the head, pick it up,
Carefully.
and start moving it back. And you place it back.
Okay. I'm going to take off those gloves and just...
At this point, to repair the area, it would take at least 2.5 hours to put it back, because you guys have been walking around in the area to cover the entirety of your trail. It would be a survival roll twice from all three of you.
I would say all he really would need to do is just keep a close eye out at the city for anyone leaving again,
Yeah.
going out that way, or at least at that intersection
Try
where it
to...
splits
Well,
off.
you
put
can't
out, like-
see that from...
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like having someone set up to see anybody leaving.
Preferably someone hidden and has night vision. Or dark vision.
Which is not.
I'm going to ask the guard captain if we have anyone on the night shifts who does have dark vision. That would be
Yes.
good to hide and keep a watch by the gate.
We are not outside of the gate after night.
Well, watch near the gate.
We have a stationed guard at the gate, yes.
Okay. Who is this guard at the gate?
Depending on the shift.
All right. Who was
But it
for the last
rotates
week?
it rotates daily between the night guards.
Okay.
A week means every night guard would have had a shift.
All right. Okay.
It is the preferable shift as you get to sit all night.
Gotcha.
And usually get to sleep during the day when people aren't waking you up.
Well, that's night shift entirely.
Because I was wondering if there was someone during the night shift who was specifically watching the gate, and then, well, there are no.
Primarily,
patrols
they're there
around
just in
going
case
out.
anyone was out overnight too late and they needed to let someone in.
Gotcha.
Nobody's going out overnight. They're just there as a courtesy if it needs opened.
All right.
And
Do
they
they-
hadn't mentioned anyone coming in.
The guard who was on guard the night you guys were there did not see anyone entering or leaving.
Do they typically just sit down and keep an eye out or ear out, or do they watch the gate specifically?
Pretty much an ear. The tower they're in doesn't necessarily... I mean, it has the capability to look outside. That's usually not a concern because what's outside.
Right.
There's a capability to watch inside, but that's also not usually a concern. Usually they're just sitting there to see if somebody yells at them and says, hey, I need this opened.
All right.
And then be like, why?
I'm gonna ask him if he could tell whoever is on the shift to be in the guard tower to watch the gate, and only let them know to keep an eye out on the gate this time. See if they can pick up any additional info. Maybe they're doing it too quietly for them to hear when they open the gate and leave, or if anyone is even leaving the gate to go put these heads here.
We will keep an eye on it. I will let the entirety of the night guard know, as they will be going through shifts.
Okay. Shall we head back then and let the rest of the group know what we found?
Yeah.
Yep, so we're going to shift back to you guys who got to the house. You did your investigation with the children.
Okay. So, what do you both think? Anything leap out at you as potential suspects other than children?
I still think if the entirety of the body's not here, at this point he would notice that the head is no longer present. Killer's gotta have gone outside the gate somewhere. You guys seem to think so.
Yes, it was strange, however, that the guards hadn't seen anyone entering. We do keep it locked at night.
Well, yes, with the bar. It's a bar lock.
Yeah, okay.
As he's like, if you wanted to get out, you could.
Alright. But still doing it quietly would be a bit difficult,
It'd
especially...
be difficult. But we're looking at someone here who clearly believes they know what they're doing.
Yep.
I imagine he's got some sort of lair near here. We can go take a look at it. Find it. Track him down. Do to him what he did to poor Lorinal here.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to cut him open, but...
Of course not. We'll make sure he's alive. If he's dead, he can't feel the pain of what he did to Lorinal. You see a fire burning behind him.
Alright,
A literal fire?
how is the girl reacting?
The girl's lighting houses.
She's just kind of looking at him, just emotionless.
Okay.
Insight is anything if you want more.
Cocked.
That's an at one. I'm too freaked out
Add
to
it to the
question.
pile.
17.
17.
Yep. So I don't forget.
She seems amicable to his idea. After all, it's what Cassidy came up with. It's probably right.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, sure. Very well. Let's go then. I'm nervous, so.
Yep. So, where are you guys going?
I guess, how long has it been since they've left?
Probably about an hour. So in other words, at this point, you're getting the Loxodon commander.
Alright.
Okay,
Well, actually, the Loxodon commander would have already left with you because it's only half an hour back.
Before
You're on your way back down there with him.
Alright.
Before we leave, I'm gonna point out the weird thing we found with the alleys. The fact that it's clear, it's super clean after a certain point.
She kind of looks at him. He kind of looks down and is like, odd that he has such a thing about dust but missed the table.
Yeah. What about yourself, Lauren? You've been awfully quiet.
She just kind of looks up at you. Just kind of shrugs. Haven't really...
Charisma,
Go for it.
to try and get her to actually speak.
Clearly the murderer knew mass prestidigitation, the 9th level spell.
Just straight charisma,
Yep, go, well, persuasion.
persuasion. Much better. 23.
23. She says... She kind of shrugs, but then...
I'm kind of trying to
I agree with what Cassidy's saying. It's whoever did this should have had a better knowledge of what they were doing. And going outside is probably the best thing for us all to do. I think we can solve this if we go at it.
Okay.
Again, with the we, she seems to refer to Cassidy and you.
Yes.
Cats are pets.
Alright, I'll take them outside.
Alright. You guys begin going outside.
I don't know what you guys are doing outside.
Yeah. It is a 15-minute walk through, so the three of you are now down, poking about heads. He starts looking over the western approach. The mural showed the western approach, so it should be something where we can see the western approach. Maybe we should loop around the walls.
I'll do that. I'll just let him kind of take point.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
While the three of us are on our way back, do we know if any of the
You
other...
are not on your way back yet.
Yeah.
Well, I meant after that's passed, I was wondering if we knew if the other victims' heads that we found, if they had any other previous residences that any of them knew about.
They're all vagrants.
Other previous residences?
If they lived in a house or anything like that.
No, none of them had permanent dwellings.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
All right,
And
so
two, since they were looking over the western
we'll
approach,
get
you could
back
see
to
the
you.
head go up in the air.
we'll get back to you.
Just in the distance.
Yeah,
So-
they're an idiot.
You guys get around the western wall. He starts kind of looking around, just kind of poking at the wall, seeing if maybe they had climbed the wall here.
Do I see anything that could be obvious?
Go ahead and give me a perception roll.
19.
13.
You don't see anything obvious. You would also kind of notice looking up, these are ancient defensive walls that were built here. If you were trying to climb up, you'd have to get up, then either be a tiny creature to fit through the matriculations, or you'd then have to climb out to then get over, short of having a large ladder that you could set, and you don't see any marks of something like that being anchored nearby.
It's a very hard to do. Possible, but it's very hard to do.
Yeah. But he kind of looks around. You spend about 15 minutes just kind of poking around and doing larger search circles, at which point you guys hear a crack. Roll perceptions.
Nat 20.
22.
I'd say he has a 20 as nat 20 as well, so then 22 is enough. So the three of you all kind of look down, and you see something small and head-shaped kind of at the trees and grasslands in the distance. He immediately goes, "That's gotta be him."
Blink. Blink.
Yes, it amounted to something.
Well, I guess we know where we're going next.
Yep. You guys begin moving. If he's going to be leading you guys double time, if you guys are all wanting to move double time.
Don't be too quick. If it is the killer, we want to be quiet on our approach. Catch them in the act and all that. Don't want to alert them.
He kind of sighs. Go ahead and all roll stealth.
22.
10.
My passive is 15.
Who needs signal flares when you have severed heads?
All right. What'd you have?
22.
You had a 10?
10.
So, as you guys start getting into the forested edge on using that as cover, you can hear the crackling of a group of individuals approaching.
Okay.
Without trying, and the Loxodon and him are still arguing about who's going to go get the head. At which you guys can hear the Loxodon guard commander and your compatriot saying, "You go get that head. You've
Well, it doesn't
launched it over
sound
there."
like the killer. I think it's our compatriots who found something. Let us investigate, shall we?
Have you considered that it's possible they killed him?
Oh.
You guys have the authority to go through the gates.
Well,
Clearly it wasn't you, but
well, it's possible.
they've got a head here.
Do I need to make a deception roll now?
You're not there. He's not paying attention to you.
Well, they do have the authority to enter and exit the gates. I've journeyed with them for a while. I trust them to a degree. Plus, I haven't seen them go anywhere. Last night they were.
You guys said they weren't going outside the gate, though, and here they are.
Yes, how their investigation may have taken them there. Plus, I was with them last night. They were partying, and I know they got roaring drunk to a point of the elf nearly having a conniption fit. They do have alibis.
Many violent things can be done when you're drunk.
Speaking from personal experience, I see.
This is true. We should have to add them to we should have to add them to the suspect list. We can't jump to conclusions, yes.
Another
Yeah,
Bard
no.
rogue fight.
Well, let's just go and ask them questions about why they're here.
So, you guys see the remainder of the party, plus the two children, step out. The child looking very suspicious of the Eladrin.
Of course.
And not the guard. Always blame the elf. As soon as I see them, I assume I already put the head back.
You're in the process of getting it and bringing it back.
Oh. I would wave you guys over, but...
He's got bear mittens on and a head of... I didn't roll to see which one it was. Roll me a D5 if it's a 1. Well, D6, but it means you're re-rolling 6s. And then if it's a 1, it's the fresh
3.
one. Alright, so it was one of the other ones that was launched. That doesn't look like insert Lorenal at all.
Oh, there have been multiple victims, by the way.
Great. So
Most of
We
them
just smell
were
it at this
us.
point.
Yeah, no, you guys can all smell it. at this
serial
point.
killer then.
Yeah.
What are the other victims? Have we identified them?
Beggars and vagrants mostly. People that most people would normally not miss.
Alright. Anything else?
What
led you all here?
He ended up picking back up on the smell, and we also found that they have, some brain in the nose missing?
Yes, ears are missing, noses are missing, and there's incisions on the back of the heads
Right.
that the brains were removed.
Well, since
The
I have
lock's
the
gone.
gloves on, I'll point them out while it's in my hand.
Yeah. If you want, the two newcomers can go ahead and roll me survival on the heads.
14.
21.
On the head he's holding, the wounds that he's showing off were inflicted long after death. That is not the case with the fresh head.
All the others, the wounds were inflicted after death, but not him.
The wounds were just incision in the back of the head.
The incision to extract the brain and then the removal of the ears and nose.
So that's what killed the target?
No,
Laurel?
those are not the lethal wounds.
Okay. Did we determine what the lethal wounds were?
There are no lethal wounds on the head, or no lethal wounds that appear to have been inflicted. Short of knocking him out and then excising his brain, that is the only
when we
potential.
were examining the body itself, like we didn't see any lethal.
You did not see any lethal puncture, slashing, or crushing wounds, nor any burns of magic.
When I saw the body, the lack of wounds and stuff like that, would I be able to know of any kind of poison that would be available? We might be able to create with the local stuff we brought.
The shrooms.
Poison
that were originally
would
in
be.
mine.
Well, that actually consumes the flesh.
Oh, okay.
As you're investigating for poisons, go ahead and give me a survival roll.
Just because
Yeah.
thieves, stuff like that,
Yep.
one little rogue. Survival, you said?
Yep.
15.
In order to determine if there was poison, you would need to examine organs. All organs have been removed from the corpse that was there, and any extremity organs, nose, ears, were removed from the heads.
Including the tongue?
Tongue is still there, but it appears that there's no odd coloring besides rot.
Okay.
So there's a variety of poisons that could have caused death without leaving a mark. You don't have what you would require to make a diagnosis of that.
Okay. Anything else?
You mentioned the magic and such. Residual magic.
Oh yeah, I mean I'll let the party know of
Yeah.
all the stuff that we found out.
So enchantment magic in the area.
Knowledge Arcana, I guess?
Go for it.
17.
7.
Neither of you are aware of any specific spell. You would be aware of the fact that if it was yesterday, it could have been a second level. If it were beyond that, it would have needed to be third level or higher as it goes further back.
Something we should probably.
Can I also
maybe
roll on
ask
that?
Theodore.
Because the magics that I use as an arcane trickster
Specialized
tend to be
enchantment.
enchantments or illusions.
Okay.
Go for it.
You want to go grab?
Oh, no, that's a 3.
No new info.
Just to talk to him first. But I can start heading back.
Move that die out of the way.
Sure.
It's like a 45-minute or so walk back.
If you want to go retrieve our gnome friend who's specialized in this kind of particular.
Alright, I will go retrieve him. at a modest pace this time.
All right, are you all going, or the remainder of you staying?
I'm walking.
Staying.
I'm walking back.
Okay.
To go kind of if we can
All
find
right.
Theodore to let him know because I'm the one that did the detect magic.
Yeah.
So I'll want to kind
All
of
right.
explain him what I picked up, and then ask him if he had been there.
Yeah.
To the kids, the presence of magic is definitely concerning.
They
I
kind of
of stop, like tilt my head as if like someone's just occurred to me. I don't suppose you all have particular experience in witnessing magic, have you?
not extensive. No, we've seen what you guys have used though. Again, he relates the tale of watching you guys fight the bugs from the wall. And he's seen various mundane magic.
How did you see that, by the way? The fight, at least. Were you on the walls at the time?
Yes, you guys left the town, so we climbed up on the walls to see where you were going.
Okay. Did you tell Laurel that you wanted to be adventurers?
Laurel knew, yes.
Was he supportive?
Laurel said our ambitions should not be that high. That we should focus on bettering the community around us. But that's why we want to be adventurers. You're in the process of bettering the community, and look at where his profession got him.
Yes, a handyman around town.
Victim blaming now, are we?
Very well. I do not know what else we can do here. Do I see anything particular about the whole setup?
There's nothing new to gain from the setup if you've heard what I was describing previously, just the 5 heads in a 3 and then 2 layout.
Is there like a space for a 6 to be...
I mean, theoretically, yes. They're set out in a grid lineup, adjacent to each other.
Okay.
Adding a 6 would just make it a 3x3 line.
Should we bring them back? Or leave them here?
As the Loxodon kind of sits back and was just like, he wanted me to put it back the way it was before he sent one of them flying.
For
Nodding
reference,
back
I would
to
have
him
put
as
the
well.
head back before heading to the city.
I figured as much.
I just want to be specific so I don't approach the gate. It's like, I got a head!
I think we're have to leave them
About
here
time.
for now until the guard can dispatch Tail to, I guess, bury them.
Yeah, so, cutting there. The 2 of you guys who are headed up to find Theodore.
Mhm.
You know where the tavern is. You know he's got a room in the tavern. Let me figure out where he is at the moment. He's actually out, because it's slightly after lunch. He is out there still happily munching on the leftovers of today's lunch.
Okay.
I will sit down at the table with him.
He just kind of looks
Good.
up with his legs dangling in the air and... Yes, what do you want? You only talk to me when you want something.
To be fair, I think this is the first time I've directly talked to you.
Yes, and now you want something.
Yes. Have you heard the news about Lorno?
No.
Dude's been murdered.
Oh,
I whispered to him, so not to alarm anyone else. in
there's
the
not
tavern.
a large number of people, though there are people across the building. from
Okay.
you. But you still whisper it. He kind of goes, oh, I had heard there was a murder. That must
Yes.
be the name of the individual.
Indeed. And we found a area with a bunch of severed heads. So it's been a serial killer, not a regular killer, I whispered to him. And our druid has found traces of enchantment magic around the area. And we were
You just see
wondering...
puzzlement cross his face when you say enchantment magic.
Yes. I was wondering if you would...
Enchantment is used to control people.
Yes.
So he looks at you again, and you found that at the crime scene, yes?
Not at the crime scene, but not in the victim's house, but in a separate place outside the city.
But the crime scene body, that was in the city.
Yes.
He again just You didn't realize gnome heads could tilt that much, as he just kind of wants to spin it the entire way around. That makes no sense.
You know more.
Can I see it?
Yes.
He kind of
If you
hops
follow
down,
me,
looks at the rest of his soup bowl.
you could bring that with you.
Good. I was debating whether I needed to guzzle it or put it in my quarters to defend it against the cleaning ladies who seem to think that leftovers don't deserve to be eaten now.
The audacity.
He shoots a glance over at the barmaid. Yes. Grabs his bowl, his spoon, and then walks out, never breaking eye contact with her.
I'm going to ask if they have any leftovers that I could eat on the way back.
She kind of just looks at him, rolls her eyes in a grand, exaggerated look, and says, yes, we have leftovers. You all were not able to make it. We have portions set aside for all of you.
Right.
Oh, excellent.
I'd like to take my portion with me.
They
on the way back.
get you it was primarily a broth type stew. They have wineskins that you'd be able to carry it in.
All right, I'll do that.
So they give you a wineskin full of what you wanted. So.
I'll drink it on my way back.
Yep.
The kids know anyone in the city that can use magic that they know?
Aside from you guys, no.
Right.
I think that's all they've seen use magic. I mean, low-level cantrips for people.
Okay. Have they seen anyone they know that used cantrips?
He proudly exclaims that he knows the ability to use the light cantrip.
Oh, okay.
And he promptly proves it.
And instead, cast Eldritch Blast.
Do you recognize any of these other faces?
What about you, Lauren? Knowing magic at all?
She just kind of nods, and you see prestidigitation, just kind of the flutter of sense colors.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than the scent of the heads, which they can now reproduce with prestidigitation.
We're the ship with magic users.
But, so, given time, he arrives, you see him just kind of emptying a wineskin, and you see a gnome who just happily every so often has a bowl that he's walking down with him. Occasionally he'll stop, stick a spoon in, drip it off so it's only about a quarter of the way full, stick it in his mouth, see a grin hop across his face, and he continues walking down.
What was this guy's name?
Theodore.
Hello, Theodore. We have a little magical phenomenon.
I was told there are severed heads and enchantment magic.
Yes, I gesture to the scene.
Yes, you see the 5 heads just kind of rise up and all float toward him. He just kind of looks at them, spinning them around, and fascinating. No bodies.
No bodies.
Other than the one at Laurel's house, that was, I give him the details, what we found.
Yeah. Interesting. An artist and a serial murderer.
A bard extraordinaire.
Most I could do with enchantment is get one of these to talk. I would have to tell it what to say. Maybe I could turn them into singing heads. That is the extent I could do with enchantment magic on this. Therefore, I have no idea what your individual had use of this. Do you know if the magic was cast on the heads?
I'll tell him. I'll try to explain.
You have no idea. It's just an aura of the area.
Right, that's what I'll tell him.
Yeah. I need the player's handbook real quick. I need to confirm the aura of the spell he's using. Because
I've never had it. So.
what are you wondering about?
I was just wondering what level Speak with Dead is. It's like 3rd or 4th, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, so he's using transmutation. Alright. So I wanted to make sure he wasn't using enchantment to get them to move around. And I was like, I should know that. But no, he's using transmutation to get them to move around. But in the end, he kind of puts them all back into position, sets them down. Cool.
Is there any new information you can enlighten us with?
You've got an apprentice. He looks just like you. Oh, and a little one. Hi there. Both are just kind of giving him stares.
I imagine he says little one as the girl is like a few inches taller
Yes.
than her.
Yep, he's about 2.5 feet tall.
She just stares down at him.
Alright, well,
And he kind of looks at their wooden weapons, etc. Just exaggerated. Oh, you have a sword.
I suppose we should leave the guard to, I guess, bury the dead at least with some respect.
Should the heads come with us? Or are they burying them here?
Would there be a reason to bring them back?
I mean,
Well, you know
if
what?
we're going to put a graveyard at some point.
Yeah, I guess the guard will bring the heads back to the city.
I mean, I don't seem to sound macabre. But bleached skulls look pretty good. They've already had all their cartilage removed.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to
Is that
point out
something
all
we
the
know?
incisions that
What?
were done
The
to the
cartilage
head.
removed?
That would be the nose, the ears.
Any
Oh,
idea
okay, so
why
he
that
already
would
knows.
be?
Nope. Unless you were intending to turn them into bleached heads. I mean, there's still flesh attached, so I mean, there's still plenty of work to do, but... Given that your murderer extraordinaire also decided they needed gutted and their organs removed, and the brains were removed too, no idea.
Okay.
Since you've been around this area a lot longer than we have, would you know any reason or any particular cult that would do anything like this?
Are goblins a cult?
He hasn't been colds. He's been in prison forever.
Depends
He
on
understands
goblins.
the word cult.
He hasn't encountered.
That's true. But he's saying probably goblins. This seems like a goblin thing. Now, why would any goblin do this? I don't know, but the hobgoblin traders do frequent this western approach.
But would hobgoblins be stealthy enough to do this to
Hobgoblins,
several
no,
people
but the
without
shorter kind of goblin definitely could. It wouldn't be within their standard MO, but I do know they like to take trophies from skulls. Trophies from a body and gutting it. The giants liked to use organs in a lot of their rituals and castings. It is possible that they were just harvesting you like you would harvest cattle and taking the organs to trade.
Well, I wouldn't think that a goblin or hobgoblin would paint a picture of the...
I wouldn't think a human would either, to be honest. I haven't figured that part out, so I've just decided to ignore it.
Gotcha.
If it was very clear saying, oh yes, only goblins paint portraits with the blood of their enemies, it'd be too simple.
It was a nice drawing, though. Painting.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. It was made by a goblin. Those little things get their fingers everywhere. Trust me, I know. Language. He looks over at the children. Why are these children outside of the wall? It's very unsafe, and they've only got wooden blades. The bugs are out here. Also, there could have been goblins here. You'd have gotten them murdered.
That's true. Why are they here?
Go home, little child.
Because this is where the investigation led to, we didn't have any other clues that would let us anywhere else.
Okay.
Semantics, time for us to return. There's nothing more we can do here.
Yes.
So are we taking the heads? Are we burying them? Or leaving them?
That is up to you. If he wants one, he can talk to the guards about it when they bring it back for potential burial. I'll discuss it later.
He hears possibly get one talk with the guards, and he saddles on next to the Loxodon, only coming up to the thing's knee, but so kindest serve the guard. The children seem pleased that his attention has been focused elsewhere now. But he goes on to talk about, well, I'll give you the flesh for burial, but honestly, a cremation's probably best. So if I just give you the flesh, you can cremate that.
Question, does Speak with Dead, does that have a time limit you can use it in?
Yes.
30 days?
I can check the time limit on it. I know there is a time limit.
I'm looking at it. It doesn't really say a time limit, which is... But
Since
I
they
could have
died?
sworn I've heard one. Yeah.
Since they've died? I don't
No,
think...
well, it's last 10 days.
Well, there you go. I'm like, I know there is a limit on it.
It's a 3rd level necromancy spell.
Must have a mouth, can't be undead, fails if the corpse had died beyond the last 10 days. Then it goes through the mechanics of what you can do with questions, etc.
I suggest the guard that the Laurel's body, at least, is kept somewhat preserved and stored somewhere for our cleric friend in case he can do anything with it.
Kind of nods and says we can use part of the caves as a mortuary. The bodies will be secured within. There are a couple side tunnels. They'll just lock one of those off. It's cooler in there and it'll be less prone to rot. Mm-hmm. But it's still gonna stink like high heaven given a couple days.
Just get a bunch of people cast prestidigitation, make it smell like flowers in there.
Yep, for a couple minutes. Then, ooh!
What time of day is it?
What time of day? It is slightly after lunch, so about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock now that you guys are heading back up.
Okay.
When we get back up there, is there any good hiding spots we can find near the gate that's in the city?
Not really. The gate itself is kept relatively clear, although there are stockpiles set just within it, but set back from the gate, so that when you're bringing a large log through, you're not trying to step over pallets of anything.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys know that as soon as we get back to the city, I am going to go trance to my room for a couple hours and try to hide out by the gate to see if I can try to catch anyone coming into the city or leaving it.
Okay.
So once I get back, I'm going to trance till like midnight. Then
You'll be trancing until like 6 p.m.
Till 6
It's
p.m.
only 2.
It's like 2 p.m. Trance is 4 hours.
Well, I didn't know if I'd had to do that longer to do the short rest for the day. Because
A short
and long rest.
You'll be tranced for 4 hours, but then you will have 4 hours of time where you can do light activity around your room.
Okay.
And be around, like, eat your dinner, etc.
All right.
So,
I just want to try to...
you head off to trance to possibly head out later tonight.
Yeah.
Remaining 3 of you, plus children. As soon as you guys get in, the Loxodon commander starts heading over to his barracks, followed by a still very, very chatty gnome. But please!
Did you want any more of the dark?
I still have a box over here.
Okay.
And I've not gone through. I think I've gone through like half of it. That's about it. Just one package.
I've gone through about 2 boxes.
It's not with us.
We have one of our compatriots, you may have seen in the Battle of the Cleric, might be able to lead us further into this investigation. But for now, unless you two you can think of anything else, I do believe that we are at a dead end until our elf or cleric comes back.
Then what are we doing tomorrow? I've proven I could be of help. I got us united back and got us all to where we needed to be.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what you can do. When you return home, if you could keep an eye out, see if anyone comes back to the murder site that's not a member of the guard or ourselves and such.
Absolutely.
All right.
Then come get me tomorrow morning and I'll assist it however I can.
Will do. We'll let you know.
Yep. He heads off. Lauren in tow.
Okay. And I am done with the investigation because I don't give a shit anymore.
So the bug caverns, huh? Tomorrow.
Yeah, I would probably suggest someone start teaching people swordsmanship, stuff like that. Inside, just occupy them.
The kids.
The kids and probably, and other people that would be interested, since apparently we have a bunch of magic users somehow in this city.
You have people who can cast a single first level spell for it.
Yeah, but that's first level spell can still damage something. So
True.
So can a sword.
yeah, but magic can start a fire.
So can a torch.
Yeah, teach the kids how to use the fire, not to start setting things on fire.
All right, so
Please don't be an arsonist.
you guys wrap up the day, have dinner, settle into your quarters. You are heading out.
Yeah.
You're getting set up right around dusk.
I'm gonna try to go around alleys to try to avoid people spotting me.
Okay.